All right. Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Buried Stars on Nintendo Switch. Alright, now I actually had a suggestion from, I'd rather have Cocoa Pops from yesterday to go ahead and even if something costs you a little bit on your karma to at least get a new keyword. I guess the intention is to get as many keywords as you can. So we'll go back and ask that question of Hyosung, I think? Or was Hyuyuk? I don't remember. Or was Seal? Maybe it was Seal, yeah. I think we actually have to do this.
그게요.
Yeah, because we get a profile. Outsourcing.
그리고
We don't work with the agencies anymore.
어?
Did you gather enough info?
아니요.
No, there was an issue. Hyosung, for example, was ridiculous. The staff began to complain because one of the agencies was making too many mistakes.
그렇죠.
We didn't even pay off the entire balance because it was their fault. Didn't the agency file a suit?
그러면
If you didn't pay the balance, you violated the contract, right?
네?
I'm surprised you would ask me that. There were conditions when we signed the contract.
그렇다고 볼 수 있죠.
Both sides had to take responsibility for the mistakes they made, and there was also a clause considering confidentiality.
그렇다는 건
So they just called it a day, happy with the previous payments.
그 말은
If there's a dispute, the agency has to refund the full amount.
아니.
That's pretty serious if the agency was hired.
그치만요.
It was also stated that in the contract for contestants, entrust the show with a decision and don't hold each other responsible for incidents that happened during the show. And that's unfair enough. Or that's unfair though. Continuing needed the ingredients. I know it can be a very controversial issue, but I think it was necessary. It was a necessary evil for the show. It was necessary. I can't believe I'm arguing Sinyan's side right now. I guess I began to resemble her as much as I hated her. Imitation. Seal hated the producer, who always looked down on him, but ironically, he liked her way of doing things. He said he took after her in some ways while still hating her.
한마디로
Anyway, as you said, we just ignored it. That's how we got this far. Contract termination. Contracts with background check agencies were terminated after some controversy surrounding Hyosung's past, but confidentiality clauses will likely keep the agencies quiet. Okay, so we need to talk about favoritism. Alright, because he likes older women. I share his like. Well, I don't know, now that I'm older, maybe I shouldn't. Well, if you don't have enough manpower, you have to hire others to do the job.
그럴지도.
Seems they had gotten info randomly to the best of their ability.
그렇지.
It's not like they could read the minds of the contestants. What they needed was a cross-check. You sound so cool about it.
맞지?
You didn't know? I'm at another level in terms of coolness. They spent money, which is good for the economy.
그건
It's money that was traded for your personal information.
그래서 뭐?
So what? Should I kneel down and wait for punishment? They probably went to see some school friends and called it a day. Looks like the background check wasn't all that hardcore. Hyosung brushed his hair back with his hand. They deserved it. They should have done their job.
괜찮아?
Are you really okay with that?
나 참.
What if I'm not? Should I rip up the contract and lie down on the floor? Whatever they investigated, the things they broadcast weren't anything serious to the best of my knowledge. It was for mutual benefit and nobody crossed the line. Okay. I mean, I'm still in good moods with everyone. I can take a hit or two here and there. so I didn't ask her about outsourcing. They even contracted some of this out to the other agencies? We could sue them for this and they would have to keep their mouth shut.
그럴까?
What we revealed to them couldn't satisfy their curiosity, I guess.
그거는
Maybe they thought there was more to our story. If they asked us directly, we could have just lied to make ourselves look good. And that was sharp, considering how they barely talked about your past. Hina raised her eyebrows.
그래.
Probably because I lived a perfect life.
아니야?
Do you think I made a deal with the production crew? They just thought my past was boring.
맞아.
If it was exciting, they would have broadcast it even if you tried to stop them.
그러니까.
Exactly.
하여튼
Anyway, hiring other agencies was excessive. It was stated in the contract, but not to this extent. Oh, I guess I should save again. Strange letter.
아무래도
It's got nothing to do with the situation we're in right now.
그래도
Yeah, it also means that Sinyoung was directly involved with the beef too, right? Yu-hook slowly nodded.
그렇다면
Anyone can post comments, but to send a threatening note like that is no easy task. Ina received the letter, and if they sent it to Sinyoung directly,
그러면
I don't think any mail is screened. They would have screened them out if there was any. That's strange considering how nosy they can be on other matters.
그래도
From another perspective, it could be typical of B-stars. Neglecting an issue that requires attention and intervening in a manner that needs to be left alone.
그럴지도.
You have a point. Sinyoung was both popular and notorious even before she took charge of B-stars. Maybe we were just ignorant. Blackmail could have been a common thing for her.
아니야.
I don't think it's a groundless rumor. They knew more than what was revealed through interviews,
그래.
and I don't think they're a psychic. I guess the others were surprised too.
그랬어.
I can't remember if I mentioned it or if maybe they heard it from somewhere else.
그러니까
It made me reflect on what I've said in the past. I had a feeling that there was some kind of manual line. I felt drained when they showed the interview with our friends and families. Giger gently stroked his tie knot. I didn't know I had so many friends. I had been a homebody for quite a while. They even dug into the subtle nuance of every detail.
그럴 거야.
You remember that vague clause in the contract? I'm pretty sure it's all related to that. They tried to dig as deep as they could to make us as popular as possible, on the condition that we kept quiet about it.
어떻게?
They can say whatever they want, but that was too harsh.
틀렸어.
I know every single vote counts, but that's just the imagination running wild.
아니었어.
Young's symptoms never seemed timed or faked. It wasn't like that. We were all there when she suffered it for the first time.
그랬지.
B-stars basically forced it to happen. They pushed her right to the edge. People just watching the show probably thought the timing was too convenient.
그래.
The timing was great though. It was added by editing.
맞아.
That's how they created the narrative. They switched the timing and it made it look like she was pretending. That's when people started to call her a liar.
그랬나?
I heard she complained. She talked to Sinyoung directly? I'm sure Sinyoung didn't respond. Gyu-hyuk gulped. His quivering eyes dropped. Jin-young must have felt insulted. Yeah, she seems like she's okay with stuff, honestly. Let's see, contradictory.
대체
Who do you think S. Jin-young is? They've thrown bait everywhere.
그러니까
Regardless if they're true or not, all of the comments affect us since we're in this situation.
그럴까?
Do you think Jin-young will be alright? She's doing better than I thought. No one can remain aloof at a time like this.
솔직히
She had left the group, so there's nothing strange about her working part-time. But why are they talking about coffee and panic attacks at this point?
그랬었지.
It was quiet during the preliminaries.
그랬지.
Yeah, I know. Is it because people didn't recognize her when she worked at the cafe? I'm sure somebody would have recognized her if that was right before, or right after Beloved got disbanded.
그럴까?
Maybe they were waiting for the right timing. They act like they know. They act like they know about us. I can't tell if they're telling the truth or bluffing.
Huh?
Bluffing? Yeah, to show off their knowledge, when in fact they just guessed or heard it from someone else.
그럴지도.
That might be true.
그런데
Have you seen Jin-young drink coffee since she joined the show? Not really.
아니.
Nor did I. Wow, maybe he'll be sensitive about that subject. Let's see what he says.
어떻게?
How did they know about?
대체
Jin-young doesn't even know what they're talking about. The scholarship is for students without any financial means. Why would you?
도윤아.
Duyun, it's true. Duyun raised his head and stared at Ye-hyuk. Ye-hyuk nodded weakly. I received a scholarship when I was in school. I'm sure another student had to suffer because of me.
Huh?
But why?
아니야.
It wasn't about the financial issue, as they say on Phater.
그러면
Did you get good grades? Then it's not unfair, right?
그건
It was the referral system. I think there were other students that were more talented and desperate. No, I know so. I deserve to be criticized for accepting the unfair advantage. Duyun didn't know what to say. Ye-hyuk lowered his head and smiled awkwardly. I wonder if I'm putting the benefactor on the spot. I wonder how they knew about this. Just how much do they know?
뭐랄까?
Clearly, some were treated differently. Other people had their own narratives based on what happened in the past. But for Ina, it was only the present. I don't think she lived a normal life, though. She's more sensitive than she looks. It's like a plot twist.
그런 거면
Maybe that's the reason. That's the reason she's having her narrative based on her present.
그럴지도.
That makes sense. I hope everyone looks at it that way. It seems there are various opinions on Phater, though.
어쨌든
At a time like this, she should be shaken by any comments. Or she could be shaken by any comments. I just hope Ina's okay regardless of what other people say. The two of them looked at Ina. The problem is that she doesn't look fine to me. I want her to think that this too shall pass. Let's see, aftermath.
그건
I was a bit surprised because he looked so defeated. Not just the practice, but also the way he talked. He looked frail,
그랬지.
as if he were possessed by something. It was right after the violence incident, so maybe that was the reason.
그땐
The staff also summoned him several times, right?
그랬지.
Some speculated that he might have been kicked out
결국
and came back to the practice without further comments. I thought it was just a rumor. That was before additional evidence came out. Yusuk fell silent, as if recalling the incident.
그게
How would I describe it? Yeah, Hyesung was like... I thought he was going to give up and get eliminated.
그건
Contenders getting favored or neglected. We hear it all the time.
저기
Weren't you one of those being neglected by the show?
글쎄
I was, but I don't know much about that.
솔직히
To be honest, I didn't get to watch the show on TV.
나는
Same here, but
나도야.
it's embarrassing.
그래.
Yeah, for me too. Even if I say something stupid or make mistakes, the editing team takes care of that. Yeah, they have a way of making something out of nothing.
그랬지.
For me, it was magic.
맞아.
They can make you look bad, though.
어?
Like you?
그래도
But it can't be that bad, right? You've made it this far, after all. I don't know, since I haven't watched the footage, but
나도
I haven't watched it either. We're so lazy about monitoring. I guess we are, now that I think about it.
어떻게?
They appeared out of nowhere and started stirring things up. You can tell they're trying to create commotion just by looking at the username.
대체
Why did they have to come out at a time like this?
어쩌면
That's the wrong question. They came out now precisely because it's a time like this. If they're not worried about getting embarrassed or criticized, this is the best timing. Why would they get embarrassed? Nobody can figure out who they are in the first place.
그렇지.
Right, they have nothing to lose. And we have to put up with it. We
내
just have
생각은
to endure it. They're out of control.
그래.
I agree, although I'm really pissed off. If we take action, we're falling for their trick. People will think we're pathetic for arguing on Phater while being stuck down here.
만약에
Hyosung might go at it with them. I hope not. Hyosung was on the other side, looking, nervously jerking his feet. I don't think he'll behave rashly since there was an accident earlier when he used Phater.
아무래도
It's inevitable that people like S. Young are acting up in chaos like this. Since the response from the show is naive and hesitant, the mass media get overheated and people get excited. We get contenders like Hyosung aiming to rebound, and we also get anonymous accounts seeking attention.
그럴까?
Are you saying we're in a situation where troublemakers can't be avoided? We'll just have to wait for the situation to sort itself out so that troublemakers will disappear. Public enemy.
혹시
What do you think? On Phater?
나는
He just recorded what had been controversial.
맞아.
Yes, regardless of the truth surrounding Hyosung's incident, right now, even a tiny bit of blame would hurt him deep. There were all kinds of issues, and it was inevitable. Yu Hyuk nodded after giving a sigh. And S. Young appeared. It's gaining more attention because of our current situation. While in here, we are all helpless. I guess so. Got nothing but stand around and wait. Fits.
그게
Do you remember when it first broke out? Disclosed by Hyosung?
그리고
Besides the fans, some other people sided with Hyosung. Even then, the school friend posted a comment. Everyone disappeared after the evidence came out. Yu-Hook gently rubbed his chin. It was pretty tense until they reached the conclusion that was favorable for one side.
저기
This post was also validated by the author, his high school friend.
그치만
I know it happened during his middle school years, but,
그랬지.
well, okay, that was a long time ago. I don't think he's that kind of person, but you can tell a person by their looks, though. Oh, can you? I'm pretty sure you can't. Well, you're Mr. Shallow. Okay, avoid that one.
그래도
I think they're almost done checking the audience.
그래.
I know, it could have been a disaster. But they're still checking the staff.
그건
I think it's more complicated. It doesn't seem logical, though. As for the show, the staff is supposed to be the family, right? Are you saying they should take care of the family first? No, not always.
아닌 것 같아.
Not always. There are families worse than strangers.
맞아.
That's true.
솔직히
It's probably a good thing now, but nobody came here. I'm no different, but you're in a different situation. Because I was a disgrace to my father's family. Yu-Hook shook his head weakly. You heard the interview, right? He said he was ashamed to have two jokers in the family and just hung up.
그래.
It was too much. Was that really necessary?
아니야.
He wasn't pretending to be mean. That's just how he thought. shame. No one from his family came to the venue to see his performance. When the staff visited his uncle, he complained that his family had produced 2 jokers. I didn't mean to talk about family. Duyun felt awkward after hearing Gi-hyuk's downcast voice.
알잖아.
Eating together makes you family, I guess. All Masquerade members thought they were family.
그럴지도.
I know one thing, that they were inattentive towards people they worked with.
아무래도
The number of audience gets checked accurately as they enter the building,
그렇지.
but the staff includes part-timers and contract workers. Treated them like disposable tools. Now that I'm in this mess, I can see it more clearly. I wish they would hurry up and confirm the staff list too. Okay, that was good, I think? They're still checking the staff list.
잠깐만.
We're here for sure, and
그랬나?
do you think there are other people? I haven't seen any. I hope everyone else got out.
맞아.
Me too. Nothing good will come out of staying here together. I'm sure the rescue team and police are trying their best to check the list.
그래서
Is that why it's so hard to contact them? Gi-hyuk stared at Duyun for a second and nodded.
어쨌든
It's also important that other people evacuated safely. It's as important as us getting out of here in one piece.
그렇지?
I just want to know if the other staff members are safe too.
그럴 거야.
I guess. Although it's too late for Seung-young.
그런 거면
I guess people out there might be curious, but
아닌 것 같아.
I don't think it's the right time to make a public announcement.
그러니까
We're still stuck in here. It's pandemonium. I can see that the production crew is snoozing and bumbling.
그건
It's because there's no crowd. It's because there's no control tower now.
그랬었는데
Seung-young always knew about what to tell the media,
무리야.
but it's impossible now and forever. The two pilot looked down at the watch. What do you think will happen when people find out about Seung-young?
그렇다면
Maybe they should stop responding until things get sorted out. The way things are going, the show will probably continue. Probably. We'll have to wait and see.
알고 있었어.
I knew there were people other than the staff.
그래?
You did? How?
그게
I got a call from my uncle's house after a long time of not speaking with them. I guess someone had been snooping around his house and he got mad at me for it. I asked the production crew, but they denied it.
결국
Later on, I found out this story was mentioned during the show.
그래서
That's how you sensed it.
몰랐어.
But I didn't know other agencies were involved. I guess they've gathered all possible information. That's why they were so confident about the contestants relating to the contents relating to the contestants. Gi-hyuk frowned and smiled at the same time.
하여튼
Anyhow, my uncle was furious that day.
어?
Is it because you had been exemplary in the past? No, not really. He just had no interest in me. Strange letter.
만약에
If there really was blackmail, I think it means there was a deep-seated grudge.
글쎄요.
Even when I was in Masquerade, I never received a threatening note like that.
어?
You didn't have any fans who were maybe a little too fanatic?
아무래도
I don't think I'm that attractive.
그건
Good point.
그렇지만
Ji-Jung's gaze turned to where Duyun was standing.
그렇지만
But the blackmail is not an important issue right now. It's not like the stage was destroyed by the blackmailer. Plus, it's got nothing to do with what happened to Seung-young.
맞아요.
Trying to find the connection between them seems far-fetched at the moment.
그래.
Yeah, we can barely manage the current situation. We need to focus on riding out the crisis at hand.
그래.
Investigation rumor. I knew they were going to do it. But I didn't know they would go this far.
아니야.
It doesn't mean I was okay with it.
내 생각엔
They should at least tell us what they are going to talk about. It's frustrating to find out about it later after being left out of the loop.
그랬었는데
I prepared myself for it when I signed the contract, but
아무래도
you didn't know they would go this far, right? Ian couldn't help but nod. Dean couldn't help but to nod his head.
나도야.
In that aspect, things aren't different for us. Whether we knew about it or not, we were both caught off guard.
그런가요?
Do you think they didn't inform us properly because they thought we wouldn't agree to it?
글쎄.
Well, that could be the case.
역시.
Or maybe they wanted to avoid losing any time. Losing time. They think it's a waste to give an explanation about it. This kind of thing happens all the time when they're in a hurry.
맞아.
I've been hearing it all the time ever since that day.
그런가요?
You mean the day it was aired on B-Stars?
그게
Even before that. I sent my medical records to the agency after leaving Beloved.
결국
I got a similar response. Don't lie. Ji-yoon quietly shook her head.
그치만
But my body can't lie, and it was officially confirmed by the doctor. It's not like I'm having panic attacks 24/7. Ji-yoon nodded. The occasional compulsive disorder and hyperventilation, the anticipatory anxiety caused by the anxiety disorder. Other than that, Ji-yoon was pretty stable. Ji-yoon is usually calm, but sometimes becomes compulsive and hyperventilates. These can be symptoms of anxiety, including panic attacks. Sometimes I had to wonder if I was telling a lie because everyone else said I was lying.
그때
It was difficult in the beginning. I hid myself because I was having a difficult time. Then people said I ran away because I got caught lying.
그러면
What about after joining the show? It wasn't much different, right?
그건
People can say what they want because they are not me. I can't blame them for not understanding me or not being able to read my mind.
분명해.
Nothing would have changed even if I openly argued my innocence back then, or even now.
그렇다는 건
Do you think you grew up, or you just gave up?
글쎄.
I think I gave up while growing up. That's all of us, yeah. Evaluating my own decision is still hard. They found the right time to post a groundless rumor.
결국
I think they're trying to talk about your...
알아.
I know. Ji-yoon dropped her head and paused for a moment.
그래.
I did work as a barista. I didn't think it was necessary to mention it during the interview, and I just let it slide because the show didn't talk about it either. Coffee? Yeah, I like drinking coffee. Why didn't the show cover it? Coffee provokes panic attacks, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know. Why didn't it try to cover it? Why didn't the show... why didn't the show talk about this? It's been exposed... It's been exposing all the other matters from the past.
글쎄.
Well, only Singing knows the answer.
근데
I'm surprised you didn't ask.
어?
Huh? About what?
그게
I thought you'd ask me about how coffee and panic attacks don't go together.
그건
It's... People tend to ask me first because many people know about it.
난
I've been enjoying coffee since before I started having panic attacks. I hadn't worked for a long time after leaving Beloved, so I decided to work at a cafe when the job was offered to me. Ji-yoon wanted to point out that it was different from the relationship between coffee and panic attacks, but he decided to change the subject. Let's see, doubts. Ji-yoon worked as a barista while taking time off and revealed that she is a coffee lover. Her haters claimed that she was a phony trying to get more votes because coffee aggravates panic attacks.
혹시
You said it'd been a long time, but still no one recognized you?
어,
Sometimes people ask me if I was Ji-young from Beloved. And I said no. I told them they were mistaken.
Huh?
Are you saying you pretended to be someone else?
그래.
I even asked the manager to give me a different name tag. No matter how much time went by, people continued to criticize me, so I wanted to deny myself.
근데
But I guess I couldn't fool everyone. Since it's resurfacing like this. Barista. It's true that Ji-young worked as a barista a long time after she had left Beloved. She even wore a name card and a pseudonym to hide her identity. Unfair acquisition.
역시
You saw how other guys got attacked. There's a similar logic. Planting a seed of suspicion in the ground of truth that's either been revealed or speculated on. Truth and suspicion.
그런가요?
The National University Gyuho graduated from. Doesn't it offer all kinds of scholarships? Maybe they just wrote whatever they could think of.
내 생각엔
This is pretty clear compared to the other rumors. Or he could just deny. Remaining silent as part of the contract.
아마도
We need to keep silent as specified in the contract.
그럴까?
Like we've been doing so far?
아닌가?
No, maybe that came out wrong. I feel like the current situation is also an extension of the show. Maybe because we no longer have clear guidance. Was that the wrong answer? It seemed like the right answer. But I'm not sure if I can consider that a good answer.
네.
Yeah, I admit it. Without even meaning to, I sounded like a B-star staff.
나도야.
I think I made it look less serious than it should be. If it's not, just say no. It applies to all of us. It applies to all of us after all. Ji-young stared at Gi-hook standing on the other side.
왜일까?
What do you think Gi-hook's thinking right now? If people start to believe it, it will be accepted as corruption or dirty play.
아마도
Considering her personality, he'd probably let them blabber on.
분명해.
Miss Ji-young is obviously waiting for a very specific response. They were hostile to Gi-hook for depriving someone else of a scholarship when he himself wasn't experiencing financial hardship. So now, someone disclosed Gi-hook's unfair receipt of a scholarship. He faced severe criticism that he stole the scholarship from a poor student when he's already rich.
맞아요.
The intended response can already be felt.
그치만
But there must be a strict policy concerning the college affairs. I don't believe it,
네.
although he won't be able to openly explain it. Right, we've agreed on the rules of the show after all. Unfair. It's absolutely foul play if Gi-hook receives a scholarship on the excuse of financial hardship. That was pretty major conversation. But the wrong answer, apparently. Okay, he can pick whether the answer or not. Ba-dink.
그건
It's up to Gi-hook to decide whether to give an answer. You wouldn't even feel the need to explain yourself if you're so innocent.
그래.
Right, he should do what he feels like.
난
Without even knowing it, I spoke like a B-star staffer. You can just say no, whether it's true or not. To speak about myself, to own my own will must... Ji-young mumbled to herself while staring in one direction.
왜일까?
I think Gi-hook is thinking now. Oh, okay, this is the same. Okay, we might as well do the other answers. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything, I'll think. Reason for exception.
대체
I can't believe they are attacking her with that.
그래요.
It's true they didn't mess with Ina's past, but
근데
it was just different from getting favored or covered by the show.
그래도
They didn't hesitate to exaggerate things or criticize her.
어
But it must have been a different issue, though. Ino was standing on the other side. Ji-young turned back after staring at her for a while.
확실히
As for the rest, there's something that catches your attention. Your masquerade.
난
I'm beloved. The group got disbanded and the company went bankrupt. I know it must have been hard for you, but it's your fault. Isn't that a cliche? See, Beloved disbanded after she left the group. The agency, which had been in financial trouble, was also forced to close. Many people acknowledged that she had suffered, but still felt her actions unwarranted. Gi-hook has Byung-hoon Lee's fame behind him. Hyusung has an issue concerning his school days, which is a minus for him.
아마
But as for Ina, they had nothing to talk about.
맞아요.
She never told me about her past. It's ridiculous to doubt her for something that wasn't even mentioned in the show.
분명해.
Maybe that was the intention, to make people believe that there's something. That's S. Young's intention.
그때
Hyusung was so reckless back then. He often forgot his turn and made provocative remarks. And he was often more out of control than a panic attack patient like me.
그게
Was that a joke?
아니야.
No, it wasn't. Sorry, I thought you were making a sarcastic joke. It works either way. Jinyoung looked at Hyusung from a distance.
그치만
But he came back with renewed passion. The problem is that his recklessness is also coming back.
아무래도
There are always two sides to a coin, you know. People don't really change much. Yeah, it's kind of true. People really don't change much. They change by slight degrees. Unless there's a catastrophic life event. Then I don't know if they change or they're forced to change, right? Yeah, so that one gives me another keyword. Although I don't know if I need it anymore, but what the heck.
그렇지.
It's true the show covered for him in the beginning. But things were clearly different after the finals began.
글쎄요.
I don't think it shifted the position just because he was the subject of controversy.
그때
There was the assault scandal. It was too serious for the show to cover up. It had been a free pass for him until that happened. Free pass.
도윤아.
Dude, you said you didn't monitor the show.
네.
Right, I seldom do.
확실히
If you watch it, you'll know it's pretty obvious. They shot footage of Hyusung's, but much of it was not even aired. Jinyoung ran her hand through her long hair. Not everyone can get satisfied with the amount of their screen time and the edits, but
아니야.
the point is that even viewers felt Hyusung was favored by the show.
맞아요.
He lost many votes after being exposed after the exposure of his past. Who would have imagined Hyusung would end up in last place like this?
분명히
They're openly provoking us. They want us to read their posts.
그래.
By now, everyone knows that we can use Phater in here. It's like we're being swayed by outside public opinion. Jinyoung put a hand on her forehead and frowned.
안 되겠어.
Forget what they say out there, especially the comments posted by S. Jinyoung.
그건
Everyone knows that.
어,
Everyone, huh?
난
To be honest, it's been bugging me a lot. They've been attacking us with their stories in the confusion of the accident.
그래서
That's why they are so controversial and disadvantageous for us.
결국
You tell someone not to falter only when that someone is on the verge of collapsing, right?
그래도
I think we'll be okay as long as we're aware of it.
그렇지.
Of course, we have to be okay. Let them play their game because we won't fall for it.
그건
Let bygones be bygones. Even if I tried again.
그렇다는 건
Do you think he's trying to take advantage of the atmosphere created by S. Young?
그러고 보니
Maybe. He looks like they would have believed just about anything. Young ran her hand through her long hair. Violence? Extortion?
아니요.
It's different from the Hyusung that I know.
글쎄.
There's a victim in this incident. It's too early to suspect anyone. We only get to see part of it. I'm not sure if I have the right to say this, but... What? Why? Is that a big deal? Okay. Okay, I think favoritism we could do. Yeah. Not a scout we can't. Right.
그건
Oh no, this is the one I... I'm so bad at remembering this stuff. I guess I should buy some paper or something to keep track of this, but, you know, because the phone is not necessarily a good thing to take notes on. Okay, so this one is okay. And I think this one's okay. Yes, but that one is not okay.
근데
It was testified by a school friend, but the incident didn't take place during high school.
맞아요.
That guy is basically saying he's not that type of person.
그렇지.
It was always controversial. Things have gotten quiet now that people found out he really got expelled from school and had a criminal record.
그건
They had clear evidence, the documents. Junior nodded with a grim expression on her face. Yes, it's very hard to refute document evidence.
아마
Do you think they handed over the entire list? I hope no one's been seriously injured.
아마도
Looks like most of them evacuated safely.
난
I was going to invite beloved members at a certain point of the finals,
그런가요?
but not this time.
아무래도
Nobody talked about it, so I've been holding it off. But this time I thought about it for a long time.
그래요.
It's good you didn't invite them, considering what just happened. Ji-young quietly nodded.
만약에
If I had invited them and put them in danger, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. It would have been like putting them in a difficult position once again. It was a nightmare for us, and once is enough.
괜찮아요?
You okay, Ji-young?
어
Yeah, I'm fine. It didn't happen, so I didn't need to think about it too deeply.
아직이야.
They're still checking the staff list, right?
아무래도
I don't think they know who all was here. Even for us, we always had to meet different faces.
그렇지.
People were coming and going all the time.
그게
There was an incident where one of the audience entered the backstage by pretending to be one of the staff members.
그거야.
I'm sure there was a similar incident while shooting this episode, although they didn't make an issue out of it. Ji-young shook her head and her long hair ruffled.
아무래도
Some things just don't change.
맞아요.
Similar things happened even when I performed in a small theater. The owner was the same, but they always had new workers.
아무래도
If someone said hi, I just assumed they were one of the staff members and went up on the stage.
그래.
It's convenient for management to disperse the staff. That way they can cut down on fixed expenses. Although now that the accident has happened, it's become an issue. I'm sure when it was first created, they didn't think about any accidents happening.
문제는 그거야.
I'm sure people out there are as flustered as we are. They're confused with what to do first and what to address later.
그러니까
I know. Why even talk about continuing the show when we are buried down here?
대체
The official response should get the priorities straight. The two sighed while staring at each other.
아마도
I don't think the account manager is aware of the situation right now.
그러면
And he could have waited.
결국
The post is up already and there's no subtle atmosphere. And there's a
맞아.
subtle atmosphere. Plus a weird account popped up out of nowhere, adding fuel to the fire. I hope the management sort out the situation somehow. At this point, people have no other choice but to rely on the official account for new info.
그러고 보니
There was a reason why the info was so detailed.
그치만
They can look up some on the internet, but it's not easy to find stories that happened years ago. The scope of friends and family contacted by the show, it couldn't have been handled by the staff. If this gets exposed, it could pose a serious issue.
들어봐.
The show signed the contract with the firm, so there must have been lots of conditions. I don't know how big those companies are, but they wouldn't be able to fight a giant broadcasting company,
아마
which means they would never expose it first. It's a strange world.
아니야.
The production staff must be familiar with it. Seung-young was known for conducting background checks on the cast even before joining B-Stars.
분명해.
She was notorious for doing that little by little. She would expose one thing and move on to the next if there's a challenge. It's like she was playing chess. She was elaborate.
확실히
She never gave up until the counterpart surrendered.
모르겠어.
I still don't know how far she went with the background check.
네.
Because she's dead. Ji-young smiled bitterly. Yeah, I'll never get to know now. Okay, I think we're ready to move on, right? Every other question doesn't give me a keyword or drops my sanity, which I don't. I mean, I have average sanity, but it's kind of getting low. So let's go. Sanity unchanged. Yeah, there's no chance for me to improve it. I had one chance to improve it, and then I had to give it up for what was that? Hyosung? Ina raised her hand.
생각 좀 해봤는데 저 S승연이란 놈 있잖아. 역시 안이랑 관련 있는 것 같아.
안이라뇨?
Gyojok. That's my guess. Ina pointed her finger at the floor.
여기.
Here, in this place.
무슨 귀신 씨나라 까먹는 소리야? 조금만 자세히 얘기해봐.
그러니까 예를 들면 서혜성이란 거지.
와, 들켰네. 라고 할 줄 알았냐? 나도 지금 저 새끼 뭐 하는 놈인지 난감하거든.
이나 씨 깜짝 놀랐잖아요. 진짠 줄 알고.
넌 오인 아닌 편 좀 적당히 들어.
내 말은 쇼 관련자 같다는 소리야.
이나야, 지금 우리한테 중요한 건 S 승연이 아니야.
큐, 말 되게 쉽게 한다. 그럴만도 한가? 알고자가 공돈 타먹는 거 대단한 함도 아니지.
Looking bewildered, Gyojok looked at Dune.
침묵의 한도윤 씨는 어찌 생각하시나?
As Seung-young, an anonymous account impersonating producer Seung-young Shin. The commotion the account had been creating is making everyone wary of one another. If this was the intent of S. Seung-young, it seems like their efforts have been successful. Byun thought about what S. Seung-young had been posting.
S 승연이 쓴 얘기들 대충 찍어서 떠들었다기엔 걸리는 점이 있었어.
I wish I was good at pronouncing these names. I know I'm not doing it right. And I've been trying to listen to how everybody pronounces them in the game, but sometimes it's really, really subtle, and sometimes they use like nicknames. So it's like, man, I really want to get this right.
그건
Which of the anonymous allegations was not previously public information? The barista, yes. And unfair, I think?
규혁이 형 장학금 얘기야. 형 학교 다닐 때가 방송에 자세히 나온 적은 없었어.
우리도 페이터로 처음 봤으니까.
진짜 뭔가 받아 챙긴 건 맞아?
자세히 말하긴 그렇지만 장학금은 받았어.
S승연이 그걸 어떻게 알아?
대학 관계자라거나.
다른 출연자들 얘기도 했잖아.
맞아요. 대학 관계자는 가능성이 낮아요. 영희 누나가 쉬는 동안 바리스타를 했단 거 나온 적 없는 얘기로 알고 있어.
Oh. Why does it?
맞아.
Why does it break their mood? At least the right answers.
알아보는 게 싫어서 가면까지 썼는데. 베스타에서 보여준 적도 없단 얘기고.
공황인데 얼굴 맞대는 일, 커피까지 즐기셨다는 사실도 나왔지.
서혜성, 너무 멀리 가지 마라.
쉬는 동안 무슨 일을 했는지 마음대로 찍을 수는 있어. 그치만 정확히 바리스타를 짚는 건 아무래도 이상해. S 승려는 어디서도 안 나왔던 얘기를 꺼냈어. 규혁이 형 장학금 얘기, 그리고 영희 누나 바리스타 알바.
굿봐, 역시 이상하지?
지금 알 수 있는 건 하나뿐이야. 적어도 S 승연이 하는 얘기 전부가 멋대로 지어낸 말은 아니란 거.
S senior inside before S senior's post, Gyuhyuk's scholarship and junior's part-time job hadn't been widely known. Sia looked irritated.
또 스텝설로 가나요? 스텝이 다 구출이 됐니 말았니 하는 때예요. 지금 저런 짓거리 할 만큼 한가한 사람 없어요.
어이구야, 우리 장 FD가 또 스텝이라고 편을 드시네. 친구라도 좀 만들어 놓고 편을 들면 내가 슬프진 않을 텐데. 어쩌냐? 형아 눈물 날라 그런다.
이제 막 구조돼서 구급차에 실려가는 판국이야. 페이터로 저러고 있겠냐? 생각을 일이라도 하고 살아.
아니면 탈락자일 가능성은?
베스타 탈락자 말이야?
어느 정도는 뒷사정을 알 수도 있잖아.
떨어진 다음에 알긴 힘든 정보 같은데.
떨어졌는데 저런다고 무슨 득을 보겠어. 자기가 못 올라가면 끌어내리기라도 하려는 게 사람이니까. 그게 아니면
With her head lowered, Ina raised her eyes and stared at the rest of the group.
여기 우리들 중에 하나 개인적으로 알았던 걸 터뜨려서 아예 보내려고. 계정이 다르잖아. S 승연인데? 다른 계정 굴리는 거지. 부계정. 워치 쓰는 거 서로 확인해 본 적도 없잖아.
At that very moment, something flashed through Jihyun's mind. Unlike what Ina said, it was actually impossible for contenders to use another account.
이나야, 잠깐. 출연자가 부계정을 쓰는 건 불가능해. 왜냐하면
Sponsored watch, I guess. You only got two choices.
우리가 가진 건 워치 한 개뿐이잖아.
그런데 무슨 말이 하고 싶어?
일침 제대로네. 추리를 하시려면 근거를 확실히 대셔야죠, 오이나 씨.
Ina just stood there, lost for words.
도윤이 말대로야. 워치로는 공식 계정밖에 못 굴려.
쇼에서 준 워치, 거기 공식 계정이 귀속된 상태잖아.
우리 중에 S 승연이 있는 건 불가능하다는 거지.
All accounts, one official Phater account is bound to the watch of each contender, so another account cannot be used. But they all have the same password. You just have to get another watch. Ina took a step back and bit her lip.
기세 등등하시더니 어이가 없네 진짜. 멀티가 됐으면 내가 진작에 굴렸지.
좋아. 인정해. 워치로는 안 된다는 거. 근데 다른 기기가 없다고 장담할 수 있어?
와, 포기를 모르시네. 물러날 줄도 알아야지. 좋아, 다 까보면 되잖아.
Houston confidently turned his jacket pockets inside out. It looked like an inspection of personal belongings was about to take place.
세일, 특별한 거 있나 확인해봐.
네, 알겠어요.
The inspection was over. All they had was their own watch.
혹시나가 역시나지. 그렇죠, 인하님.
알겠으니까 좀 꼬지 말아줄래?
그런데 우리 한 사람을 빼먹고 있잖아? 장세일 FD님. 엄연히 여기 계신 분인데 빼놓으면 서운하지.
내가 뭐? 가진 게 없는데.
그거야 당신께서 하시는 말씀이시고요.
Hyosung wagged his finger.
메신저 백. 거기 뭐가 들었는지 아무도 관심이 없네?
Seal grabbed the bag.
수첩 있다고 맨날 들고 다니는 거.
수첩 하나만 들어가기엔 너무 큰데? 너무...
자기 빠져나왔다고 아주 난사하는구나 너.
난사인지 적중인지 까보면 알겠지.
Hyosung came forward and Seal took a step back in response.
개인적인 물건이야. 왜 출연자도 아닌 사람을 잡아?
공익을 위해선데 협조 좀 해달라고. 의심병의 아이콘 오이나님도 한 말씀 얹어주시죠.
이나 씨,
그게... 아깐 내 생각에 빠져서 좀 오버했어. 기분 나빴을 거야. 미안해.
에?
Hyosung turned back to face Ina.
지금 뭐라고 하신...
까보라는 둥 물고 늘어져서 미안하다고. 딴기기 어쩌고 말도 안 되는 소리였는데.
Feeling awkward, Hyosung scratched the back of his head, neck.
아 저기... 그래 인정하니까 좋잖아. 워낙 드문 장면이라 좀 익숙하지가 않네.
Hyosung suddenly raised his head and touched the watch.
아 그래 우리가 이렇게 마주보고 떠드는 중이잖아. 근데 페이터의 S 승연이 또 글을 딱 올렸다면 굳이 이 난리를 안 쳐도 외부인으로 끝나는 얘기였잖아.
Hyosung suddenly fell silent.
혜성아, 왜 그래?
Hyosung? Hyosung flashed his teeth in anger. As previously announced, the real Survival Audition buried stars will continue. The cameras are all buried, so I'm going to use Phater. The contestant with the fewest votes will be eliminated. The loser will be killed. Only the top contestant will survive. From now on, do yourself promotion. Go up in the rank. The judging standard is honesty. Confess your wrongdoings and make an apology to your fans.
미친 소리도 정도껏 해야 개성이지. 이게 진짜...
His hands began to tremble.
되는 대로 말하는 거야. 신경 쓸 필요 없어.
필요가 있고 없고를 떠나서 이건...
Next results will be announced on the hour. Hyosung can go up in the ranking. Please show us lots of love and support. You don't bother to vote.
피디님 이름 달고 자꾸 개소리를 지저대잖아.
Just when Duyun was about to intervene, Hyosung began to busily type something into his watch.
이 새끼랑 맞다이 좀 까야겠어.
Who are you, pretending to be the producer and talking bullshit? Knock it off. Ah, Hyosung, why don't you show your respect to me? Are you revealing your true colors? People don't change. Are you scared of having no one on your side? I told you, confess your sins and be honest if you still want to raise your rank. You intend to impersonate Seoyoung?
어떤 건 팩트로 조져야 돼.
Who's this troll now? Seoyoung is already dead. I saw her myself, so stop talking bullshit.
야, 뭐 하는 짓이야? 공유, 미친 듯이 올라가고 있어.
All the attention and shock of the world rang through my head.
봐, 대답 안 하네. 이거 잠수 탔지?
Hyusung's voice was shaking.
이젠 사칭 따위 못해. 꺼져버리라고.
So the rankings are all the same. They all fully trust me. I just need my sanity raised.
이거 괜찮은 거야?
그럼 헛소리 하는 걸 계속 두고 봐?
그치만
생방을 날려야 짜진다고.
AM 1255 internal conflict. Infuriated with S. Seung-yeon, who pretended to be Seung-yeon, Hye-sung posted a comment about Seung-yeon's death. Anger has turned him blind.
공유수 벌써 1000이 넘었어.
Oh, is that a lot? As the number of shares grows, the number of responses begins to increase as well. Who's this troll now? Seung-yeon is already dead. I saw her myself, so stop talking bullshit. A big bomb exploded. What? Hyusung did something stupid. Producer's dead? Really? Then what is that account posting comments? This is so wrong. You shouldn't tell a lie to attract attention, Hyusung. Are you out of your mind? Criticism dominant. Hyusung's careless exposure of Seung-yeon's death was criticized by the survivors as well as many Phater users. Checking it. The official account doesn't know. Is it a lie? It's so out of the blue. Is it true that he revealed Seung-yeon's death while fighting with a troll online? Hyusung's not a Phater newbie. How can he do that? The building came down. Rescue operations are still underway. It's not the time to blame Hyusung for what he said. Shame on you people. It can't be true. There was no news about that. Hyusung must have been mistaken. If Hyusung's claim is true, then what will happen? Huh. Seung-yeon Shin is really dead? Victims? What? Is this for real? How long will it take to finish checking? Can't you see what's happening now? Who is S. Seung-yeon claiming that the producer is dead? What is Seung-yeon acting like that? What's happening there? Are you working? Aren't you working? We're hearing from Hyusung the latest news on survivors and from an attention seeker news on Seung-yeon's death. What is the role of the official account manager then?
야, 공식 계정이 얻어 터지는데?
난리 났네. 야, 어쩔 거야?
뭘 어째? 어차피 알려질 얘기 아니야?
검토해서 공식 발표하는 거랑 네가 깝친 게 똑같냐? 공식 계정 맞는 거 안 보여? 너 때문이잖아.
그게 대수야? 저딴 거 잘 대응하라고 돈 받는 거잖아. 나 쥐어 터질 땐 쌩 까더니 대단한 의리 나셨다?
Jun raised her hand to interrupt Seal.
사망자 뉴스 떴어.
Confirm dead person's identity at the accident site of Buried Stars first. Seung-yeon Shin? Right, the timing is so perfect. Buried Stars producer Seung-yeon Shin found dead, third. There was an official announcement about Seung-yeon's death. Thanks to Hyusung's spoiler, the situation had gotten all mixed up.
공식 계정에도 발표 나왔어.
Leading our show, producer Seung-yeon Shin has passed away from an accident. May she rest in peace. We feel deeply responsible for this incident. We will do our best to rescue the remaining survivors inside. We will cooperate with the authorities to find out the cause and prevent any damages from the interruption of broadcasting. Official death. Seung-yeon's death was first disclosed by Hyusung, then covered by the media pretty soon. In addition, the B-Star's official account also confirmed her death by offering condolences.
방송 중단 어쩌고는 뭐야?
아, 등 떠밀려서 쓰니까 저 모양이지.
Seal frowned.
너무 성급해. 욕먹고 뉴스 떴다고 바로 간 것 같은데. 메시지 관리를 해야지. 한 번에 하나씩. 아, 저럼 어떡하냐고.
몰매 맞으니까 공식도 움직이는구만.
혜성아, 너 지금 무슨 말을?
배우신 분이 그렇게 이해가 느려서 어디다 써먹어?
되게 속 편해 보인다.
됐고, 방송 중단으로 피 안 잊게 한다. 무슨 뜻이겠어? 구조되면 어떻게든 이어할 여지가 있다는 거야.
넌 진짜로 진짜다.
베스타 문 닫으면 어차피 다 쫑이야. 기회잖아.
이 난장판을 내고 기회 운운해?
웃고 자빠졌네.
그럼 울어? 공식 계정이 낸 공식 입장이야. 어쨌든 오더 받고 쓴 거라고.
그런다고 투표 수가 움직일 것 같아? 아까 깝쳤을 때랑 똑같은 끝일 텐데.
와, 진짜 내 편 하나도 없네. 세일 씨, 신 PD님 없다고 너무 기고만장인데? 무대 무너졌다고 개념까지 무너지네. 신임 총괄 PD신가? 출연자 인사드려요?
말이 심하잖아. 어쩌고 싶은데.
Hyosung put on a crooked smile and looked at June.
알면서들 물어보긴. 도윤이 형은 내 상황 이해하잖아. 아니야?
I can understand him. His behavior is unacceptable no matter what. I mean, I do understand him. That's the thing. It's like, I understand the situation. You know, he doesn't have anything else going on in his life. This is the only thing he has. But at the same time, I mean, they're both right? I mean, I understand why he would do something not smart, but I also wouldn't approve of doing something not smart. Yeah, honestly, I don't understand it. I wouldn't do it.
어떤 이유든 이런 난장판은 안 돼.
우리 5위랑 4위야. 위기의식 공유하는 거 아니었어? 형도 꼴찌가 뭔 발악인가 싶나봐. 저 S승연인지 뭔지가 최하위 죽는다니까 쫄아서 설치는 것 같고.
Hyosung put his hand around his watch and took a step back. Beads of sweat rolled down his pale face.
그래, 좋아.
Hyosung glanced toward the back and put on a crooked smile.
나만 또라이지? 페이터 한다고 갈구고 PD님 사칭하는 미친놈한테 나라고 하질 않나. 그 자식 입 닥치게 하니까 또 사람 찍어 누르고. 내가 그렇게 만만해? 꼴찌라고 사람 무시해? 실실거리고 다니니까 개뿔도 없어 보여?
혜성아, 진정하고 얘기를 좀 들어봐.
가까이 오지 마! 나 단독 행동을 좀 해야겠어. 내 포지션 확실하게 얘기해 줄게. 난 베스타 계속 할 거고 뭐라고 하든 상관 안 해.
베스타 무너졌다고. 여기가 아직도 무대로 보여?
계속 한대잖아. 그럼 이기면 만사 오케이잖아? 페이턴이 인기 투표니 사실 난 그런 거 없어도 괜찮아. 비장의 무기가 있으니까.
Hyosung continued slowly moving backwards.
야! 집착 좀 그만해!
다 따라오지 마. 내 얘기 혼자 듣고 싶을 테니까.
As Ina hesitated, Hyosung turned and headed down the central corridor.
혼자면 위험해.
Yuhuk shouts echoed around the ruins. The rest of the group looked at one another nervously.
저대로 두면
냅둬요.
아까 복도 봤잖아. 잘못하면
신경 끄면 알아서 기어 나올 텐데 관심 주면 더 날뛰어요.
기억이 말이 맞아.
무대 뒤가 위험해 보여서 돌아온 거잖아.
텀을 둬야 쟤도 뚜껑 열린 거 닫죠. 지 혼자 이 악물고 덤비기는 뭐가 바뀐다고? 뭘 안다고?
Houston split from the group after having conflicts with the other survivors.
지금은 놔두죠. 어떤 말도 소용없을 것 같아요.
도연아, 그치만
아예 내버려 두자는 게 아니에요. 많이 흥분한 것 같으니까 잠시 동안만요.
The others nodded, looking at one another.
아까 눈 봤어? 완전 핑 돌았던데.
더 나갔으면 가만 안 뒀어요.
Seal pretended to be calm, but his voice was shaking.
정말 괜찮을까?
오래 둘 수는 없어. 여차하면 뛰어가야지. 갈만한 데는 대기실 아니면 화장실이겠지.
흥분을 가라앉혀야 할 텐데.
Gyuko let out a brief sigh, looking at the door.
워치 가진 분들, 메신저랑 페이터 한 번만 확인해 주세요. 서혜성이 뭐라고 해놓은 건 없어요?
Just then, Jun felt the buzz of a notification on his wrist. Yo, Jun.
혜성이야?
네, 메시지가 왔어요.
양반은 못 되는 놈이네.
You okay? Where are you? I gotta talk to you. Just the two of us, okay? Dressing room. Come alone and meet me.
뭐라고 그래?
둘이서만 얘기 좀 하자는데?
무슨 꿍꿍이로?
무기가 있다는 둥 그랬는데.
별 대단하지도 않은 걸로 정신 승리하는 거겠죠.
가 볼 거지?
네, 여기서 쉬고 계세요.
언니는 내가 챙길게. 그나저나 왜 혼자 오래? 불안하겠으리.
메신저로 다 얘기하든지 전화를 하든지.
별일 아닐 거야. 괜찮겠지.
혼자 흥분해서 설레발치다 사고라도 내면.
혼자 오랬지만 같이 갈까? 아까 상태 그대로면 위험할지도.
괜찮아. 갔다 올게.
Ji-young, who was leaning against Ina, raised her head.
지금은 좀 진정했을지도 몰라. 어떻게든 달래는 쪽으로 부탁해.
혜성이가 제 말은 그럭저럭 듣는 편이니까 시키는 대로 가서 얘기해 볼게요.
상황 보고 나서 꼭 알려줘.
걱정하지 마.
Come on, he's gonna try to stab me.
혜성아!
Hey, some. Okay. Dean turned the dressing room doorknob, but the door did not open.
잠갔어. 나야! 말한 대로 왔어!
After a short pause, Hastings' voice came from the other side of the door.
혼자 왔어?
그래, 네가 시킨 대로.
The door opened slightly, and Hastings stuck out his head.
들어와.
Dean stared at Hastings blankly.
형, 내 얘기 듣고 있어? 사퇴하라고.
Hastings called out Ryun to force him to resign. He'll probably do the same to the other contestants.
따로 불러서 하려는 얘기가
이것이 뭐겠어?
Hastings licked his parched lips.
공식 계정 봤지? 구조되고도 베스타 이어지는 거면 난 남아야 돼. 지금 투표 쓰면 내 자리 날라가. 그러니까 형이 좀 사퇴해줘. 어? 페이터로 쓰든 장세일이한테 전화하라고 하든 핑계는 뭘로 대도 괜찮으니까. 그래, 걔 핑계 대면 되겠다. 페이터의 그 미친놈 S승연. 걔한테 휘둘리기 싫어서 자진 사퇴한다고 해. 타임라인 꼴 봐봐.
If what Hastings said is true, the people trapped in there might have seen Sing and Shin dead, and the murder threat. So creepy. What is the official account doing? The contestants are being blackmailed in real time. Go catch that lunatic or protect remaining survivors. Need to check whether what S-Sing is saying is true or not, but either way, they need to shut up. Gotta reconsider S-Sing. Holy crap, their forecast on the forced elimination of the loser is true.
그 새끼가 꼴찌를 죽이니 많이 했잖아. 지금 개판 5분 전이야.
An anonymous user, S-Sing claimed the contestant in last place would die at 2 a.m. It sounded like a murder threat.
누구 하나 사퇴한다고 그게 뭐라 할 놈도 없어.
Seeing that Yoon was lost for words, Hastings' expression began to change.
형, 베스타에 큰 욕심 없다 아니었어? 선비인 척 고고하게 굴어본 것뿐이야? 그럼 나도 생각이 있어.
어떤 생각?
폭로할 거야. 형, 정말로 배신자가 맞다고.
대체 무슨 얘기를 하는 거야?
이제 내 얘기를 진지하게 들을 마음이 생겨?
Yoon felt like fainting but tried to regain his focus.
바로 처져가지고서는 형은 뭐 나도 아닌 거 알아.
그럼 왜 말을 그런 식으로 했어? 이렇게 혼자 가버리는 건 뭐고?
어우, 한 수 접으니까 바로 쏴대네.
혜성아, 무대로 돌아가자.
안 돼. 끝장 보고 나갈 거야.
싸움이라도 하게?
말이 돼? 내가 쳐맞지. 형 먼저 부른 건 제일 만만해서 그랬어.
그러냐?
얼굴 보니까 역시 어렵네. 블러핑 치는 것도 쉽지 않아.
무기가 어쩌고 한 거 역시 블러핑이었어?
아니거든? 진짜 있어, 무기. 뻥 아냐. 형 거가 없어서 그렇지. 바로 거기까지 들어가긴 좀 치사하다 싶었어. 이제 블러핑 집어치우고 건더기 있는 사람한테 쇼부 봐야겠어.
Hastings looked at the other side and smacked his lips. Hastings just confessed that he had no secret weapon to use against Yoon. He was acting as if he had something to disclose on everyone else. Was he going to call the contenders one at a time and ask each one of them to drop out? What was he really up to? What did he mean when he said he had an ace in the hole?
혜성아, 나랑 얘기 좀 해.
Yoon decided to talk with Haesung calmly while not provoking him. Oh, why did I do that? We'll talk to him tomorrow, though. This is audap. You've been watching Buried Stars on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.